night.
We are following breaking news out of London this morning. A live picture from the London Bridge area where one of two terror attacks were carried out last night. Good morning. We thank you for watching. It is Sunday, June the 4th. I'm Jeff Eliasoph. More on that breaking news out of London. Less than 2 weeks after a suicide bomber attack in Manchester, England is once again dealing with more terror. This is what we know this morning. At least 7 people have been killed, 48 injured in a terror attack in central London. Right now, police say 12 people have been arrested after raids through several neighborhoods. Police say 3 suspected assailants have been shot dead. And we have the latest now from Riley Carlson, who's been standing by in London this morning. Riley? All right, thank you, Riley. Many students from the Birmingham area are in London studying abroad this summer. Samford University sent out this statement. All Samford students and employees currently in London are safe and accounted for. The people of London are in our prayers. These terror attacks hit close to home for one woman. This is Gadsden State adjunct professor Heather Green. She's on vacation in London this morning. She's staying only a mile from the London Bridge, and she says she and her friends heard sirens and helicopters all night. But Green insists these attacks won't stop her from traveling.
It's something it's a different feeling.
The country, of course, still reeling from the terror attacks at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester last month. Grande and other artists are holding a benefit concert tonight for those victims. The concert will go on as scheduled. Grande undeterred by the newest attacks and continues to meet with fans in England. She visited a hospital in Manchester on Saturday, spending time with the victims of the bombing outside her concert less than 2 weeks ago. That May 22nd attack at the Manchester Arena killed 22 people and injured dozens of others, many of them teenagers. The singer, as we say, returned to England for the One Love Manchester concert. This is a benefit for victims of the bombing. Once again, officials in Manchester confirmed that concert's going to go on as planned tonight. We'll continue to follow developments from London throughout the day on air and online. A reminder, just download the WVTM 13 News app from your app store. It's free for Apple and Android devices.
In Wednesday night. More on the forecast is coming up in just a bit. Jeff?
Well, a little water from the sky here, too. Looked like a geyser erupting in the Roebuck area of Birmingham on Saturday. Several streets had to be closed after a car ran into a fire hydrant. This is on the 9,000 block of Parkway East. It sent water flying into the air. Waterworks crews scrambled to stop the flow from the hydrant, and those streets have since reopened. No word on what caused that car to crash in the first place. An Alabama inmate is back behind bars this morning after escaping from a work site. Police captured Christopher Davis, seen there yesterday morning in Sylacauga after he walked away from a facility in Columbiana. Authorities say a tip led them to Davis, who will now face the additional charge of escaping. Prison officials say he's behind bars for a robbery committed in Russell County. A Pell City man is behind bars this morning after shooting a gun into a car with 6 people inside. Police say Cameron Kay fired into the car at Highway 280 and Eagle Point Parkway Saturday morning. He's now facing several charges, including attempted murder, bond set at more than $200,000. A child dies every other day from gun accidents in these United States. That's why residents gathered at Homewood Central Park to raise awareness. Many at Saturday's event say they won't stop until there are more laws on the books. They want to unite communities as they honor victims of gun violence. This was one of about 250 Wear Orange events being held around the country this weekend.
Because my liberty is...
The group plans more rallies in the future. A 7-year-old girl from Walker County expected her dance recital to be the highlight of her afternoon. But WVTM 13's Mary O'Connell says the big surprise came from a guest star. What a lovely story at 8:08. The city of Birmingham is getting a big grant for an arts and technology complex at Sloss Furnaces. It's received $100,000 from the National Endowment for the Arts. The project is a vision of many citizens, including Mayor William Bell. The plan will ultimately expand Sloss metal arts programs and develop new programs, too.
What we're going to do with programs.
Sloss Furnaces plans to get additional funding from private donations. Well, over the next 2 weeks, Birmingham is playing host to the 2017 National Senior Games, the largest multi-sport qualified competition event in the world for men and women over the age of 50. At the BJCC on Saturday, the pickleball competition started with women's doubles. Pickleball combines many elements of tennis, badminton, and ping pong into one game played on a badminton-sized court with a slightly modified tennis net. Pretty good game.
WVT.
8:14 is our time. Looking out at Tuscaloosa. Cloudy Sunday is underway, 73 degrees. Maybe some rain today. We may have to be dodging it, as Harmony would say, and her forecast comes up in just a few moments. 4 huge towers at a former nuclear power plant in Belgium were brought down in a controlled demolition. All 4 cooling towers brought down at the very same time. Took about 175 pounds of dynamite to get the job done. The nuclear plant was in use for more than 60 years before it was taken out of service in 2013. These blasts designed to take out a wedge on the sides of each tower. Then, as you see, gravity does the rest of the work.
2, 1, and liftoff. The 100th liftoff from launch pad.
Recycling extends beyond the stratosphere as SpaceX launches a recycled spacecraft for the first time. SpaceX launched the Dragon yesterday, loaded down with 6,000 pounds of cargo on top of the SpaceX Falcon 9. The Dragon spacecraft previously delivered supplies to the International Space Station in 2014. Eventually, SpaceX hopes to slash the cost of launches by reusing all of its rockets. Denver police investigating a building fire that destroyed 3 businesses and forced many evacuations. Investigators say the fire likely started in a body shop, then spread to a grocery store and hair salon nearby. No one was injured in Denver. Passengers on an American Airlines flight were delayed after their plane got stuck in the mud at the edge of a runway in San Antonio. The plane headed for Dallas had 38 passengers, 6 crew members on board. When the pilot aborted the takeoff, then veered off the runway at low speed. Emergency crews were able to get everybody off the plane safely, no injuries. The FAA and NTSB are investigating this morning. New this morning, 2 people reported missing in Minnesota have been found safe. Minnesota officials say the man and woman who had not been heard from in 4 days after going paddling in a canoe area have been found. They say the pair wrote SOS in the sand to help direct the air crew's attention to their location, which is exactly how they were found on Friday. Well, it's a viral video that seems to perfectly sum up how teenagers feel about their parents and how one dad totally embarrassed his son at school. But as Mecca Rain reports from Oklahoma City, it's a way to keep the family together.
The video shocking moments like this.
All right, that was Mecca Rain from our sister station in Oklahoma City. The Beatles family says they hope the stunt will catch the attention of television hosts Jimmy Fallon or Ellen DeGeneres. You can find out if they succeed by watching both of those shows right here on WVTM 13. And speaking of things right here, Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly premieres tonight right here at 6 o'clock. She's just interviewed Russian President Vladimir Putin. You'll see that interview. And every Sunday you can watch Megyn bring you in-depth interviews and stories with the biggest names in politics, culture, and world affairs right here on WVTM 13.
WVT.
Welcome back at 8:23. You know when the meteorologist says, "Is that for real?" It really is something. Harmony just commenting, it is 80 degrees in Birmingham at 8:23 in the morning. Correctamundo, Harmony?
Right, that's right, buddy.
All right. Well, we've got warm days to celebrate and birthdays too. June 4th. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. You share it with the highest paid actress in America, Angelina Jolie, is 42 today. Russell Brand, the English actor, is also 42. Bar Raffaelli, the Israeli model, on the cover of Sports Illustrated a few years ago, is 32. And Molly King, the English singer-songwriter, member of the Saturdays, turns 30 today. It is also National Cancer Survivors Day. A salute to all of you who weathered the storm. That includes my folks and Harmony's husband. Good days ahead for all of you, we pray. The Michigan Medical Examiner has released Chris Cornell's autopsy. They say he had several prescription drugs in his system when he died, but they say the mix did not contribute to the cause of death. The official autopsy results ruled the cause of death as suicide, but his family insists his death was not intentional. The legendary surfer who created the wetsuit has died at his California home. Jack O'Neill, also known for that eye patch he started wearing after a surfing accident, died from natural causes on Friday. O'Neill opened his first surf shop in his San Francisco garage after serving in the Navy during World War II. Decades later, O'Neill is still the world's top wetsuit designer. Jack O'Neill, a life well lived, died at 94. As many as 1 out of every 4 shopping malls in the U.S. will go out of business within the next 5 years, according to a new report from Credit Suisse. They estimate a record 8,600 stores will close this year alone, and between 20% and 25% of American malls will close sometime within the next 5 years. A Wisconsin man has drawn a lot of attention to his furniture store. That's because it's named Netflix and Chill. The owner says people hang out on the couch so that they might as well do it watching Netflix.
Figured, hey, what do you do for that?
Admir says he doesn't see a problem in using Netflix in the title either. We'll see if the company comes after him. He says people like the sign and are constantly taking pictures of it. Hey, say cheese. It is National Cheese Day. But who really needs a reason to enjoy the dairy goodness any day? I'll take this excuse. According to the International Dairy Association, cheese making dates back more than 4,000 years. Now that's pretty ripe cheese, isn't it? But it's not clear who invented the food that millions of us crave. We just know it's in high demand.
The suspects were wearing what looked like explosive vests.
Tragedy in London, at least 7 people killed by terrorists. We'll have reaction from other big cities this morning when we come back. The time is 8:26, and you're watching WVTN 13 News on a cloudy Sunday morning.